Was it always this long?
Hey everyone, Scott Hansen here from NFL Red Zone, and you're watching the Super Fantasy Bros podcast. 1 hour of commercial-free podcasting starts now. Enjoy the show.
Yes, Matt, it was always that long.
Bro, that intro took forever.
Welcome back to the Super Fantasy Bros podcast. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. We hope you are still hanging around in the fantasy playoffs. And obviously, we will be here to help you get to that elusive championship game. No T-Gods this week. As you can see, we will miss him, but he will definitely be back for our next two shows. Definitely stay tuned for that. We'll start dropping some sneak peeks at the end of this episode. But this week, we'll be breaking down some of the most important players for Week 16 in our rankings discussion while doing some cap or no cap, doing some start sits, game picks, and wrapping up some Q&A and trivia at the end. Obviously, if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's get into it, boys. Starting at the quarterback position, are you even considering Deshaun Watson at this point if you are still in the playoffs, or are you looking elsewhere?
Completely looking elsewhere.
Who's he play this week?
He has the
Saints.
Saints.
Yeah,
I don't
Saints.
like it.
Not that it mattered. I was probably avoiding him anyway. Just three names I'd start over him confidently would be Minshew if Hurts is out, Brock Purdy, and Jared Goff.
Yep.
Deshaun Watson, I think I ranked him at like 17th this week. I would avoid him at all costs if I could.
He
And
does
if it wasn't-
not look like the Deshaun Watson of old.
Yeah, he's
I
rusty.
think next year he should be back to normal.
Maybe.
But if it wasn't a do or die situation this week, I would also consider Nick Foles because he has a juicy matchup against the Chargers, and he's going to be throwing the ball probably more accurately and more efficient than Matt Ryan has. But that may be too big of a risk to take.
Yeah. I would agree there.
I'm sure if you're in the playoffs, your quarterback is set, and it's not Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. But it could be Lamar Jackson. And if he is able to go, are you confident starting him even with the risk of re-injury and his shaky play before the injury?
I am not. Lamar Jackson he looked so good the first couple weeks, and ever since then, I feel like that entire Ravens offense has just been abysmal. Mark Andrews included, who
He sucks.
it was him and Kelsey, top two, way over everybody else, and now Mark Andrews is kind of fallen into that just every other tight end, sort of.
Would you consider all the quarterbacks I named, Minshew, Purdy, Goff, would you start them all over Lamar?
Yes.
I
No?
would start Lamar over all three of those.
I'm avoiding Lamar.
If Lamar is going, I'm still most likely starting him. In
But he's
the 4 games before injury, he had 19, 25, 25, and 15. Like, he was bad, like, for Lamar standards, but for fantasy standards, he was still playing well. He's missed the last basically 3 games and already obviously had his bye, and he's still QB 10 on the season. He had a stretch from, like, week 4 through 7 where he was really struggling. He kind of seemed like he was turning it back on, at least in terms of fantasy points. I would lean towards still starting Lamar and trusting him. Maybe not as much, but I still would have him as a top 10 play this week. Still Lamar Jackson to me. My only fear is the re-injury. If he does get hurt again, obviously that kills your game. So if you're trying to avoid all risk, then do that. But got to risk stuff to win money. So
his receivers are just god awful though. So he's going to be running, and the chance of re-injury would just be larger. I would take 50% of Jalen Hurts over 100% Lamar Jackson right now.
Q, look
That's
at this
spicy.
question.
I'll let y'all talk about it real quick. What do you got?
Kirk Cousins is
Come
the
on.
best option that you have out there.
As long as he's playing and the sky's light outside, he is top
elite.
2 option. It might not be 2.
Top 2? Stop.
Drop
He's
the
number
50
1.
burger.
He's the
Yeah.
best.
Not the best, but yes, Kirk
He's
Cousins
the
easily a
best.
top 10 quarterback option this week. plug him in if
Against
you
the
have
Giants, he's going to feast.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm starting Kirk if I have him. I have him as a top 8 play. Plug him in.
Oh yeah, he said it's him or Andy Dalton. Definitely start Kirk.
Yes, please start Kirk. Geek, what's up? Happy holidays to you, my guy.
Happy
What's up,
holidays.
Geek?
I hope you get all the wins. I think I saw you were in the playoffs in like 60 some out of 80 leagues. So
Jesus Christ.
absolutely crushed it as always. Good luck in the playoffs in all of your leagues. Hope you win some of those.
How do you check all those lineups?
And Mustard, welcome back. We missed you.
You need like a day set to just setting the lineup.
Yeah, right. All right, let's keep rolling here. Moving on from the quarterback position. Let's talk about running backs. Nick Chubb put up less than 10 points again this past week. That is 4 of the last 5 games. Are you still starting him against the Saints if you made it to this round?
Yes.
He also missed practice today with a foot injury on top of that. But I mean, what are you gonna like if he plays? Like, what else are you gonna do if he's?
You're starting Nick Chubb.
Yeah, I would agree. Just in case some people were overly panicking, I still think you have to start Nick Chubb. I still think if he goes, he's probably at worst a top 12 play, and you probably don't have anything better. But let's say hypothetically, Nick Chubb is your second running back, right? Like you have Austin Eckler or something. You got Nick Chubb in the second round. What if you have Jerick McKinnon?
Which is a question from Top Doc Tack. And I would start Jerick McKinnon, who's been RB1 like the past 2 weeks.
Over Nick Chubb?
Yeah, I think so.
That'd be crazy, but sometimes you have to be crazy in order to win.
You got to take chances in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, Jerick McKinnon has 34 points in each of the last 2 games. It's undeniable. He's obviously not running the ball that much, but 4 touchdowns obviously helps as well. But the receiving has been outrageous. Mahomes has been dumping it off a ton. He has at least 6 targets in 5 of the last 7 games. He's involved in this offense. He's become a focal point. I'm so locked in on Jerick McKinnon. He's a top 15 play this week.
It's insane.
I would start him. I'd really have to think about it over Nick Chubb, but
I mean,
I'd probably after back-to-back 34-point games, I think you can't bench him. So
he's this year's Patterson.
Yeah,
the old man from
Mustard asking Pacheco or Gabe Davis at flex. He is in the Final 4.
Pacheco.
Congratulations.
Gabe Davis sucks.
Yeah. Pacheco is so much more trustworthy. Even with Jerick McKinnon getting all these touchdowns and all the receiving work, Pacheco still finds his way to be productive in that offense.
Gabe Davis hasn't seen double digits since week 11. He's been up and down a ton. Obviously, a boom could come, but I'm not banking on a boom. I'm going Pacheco. He's been safer. He's put up more points.
And I saw something where Pacheco has like 3rd most goal line rushes of all running backs this season.
Yes, he's been getting a ton of touches, and Top Doc Tack coming in with the knowledge as well. Cam Akers bum ass killed him a couple weeks ago. I agree.
If you let Cam Akers run all over you, you suck.
Yeah,
big time.
Gabe Davis bamboozled so many people this year.
Yeah,
he's supposed to be like Stephon Diggs over Stephon Diggs. And week 1, I think he had that big game, and people were
he did
Schultz not bigger than Stephon Diggs, but yeah.
He had a couple big games for sure, but he's just boomer bust to a T.
He was the Tyler Lockett of this year.
I think he boomed like 4 times, busted like 8 times. So
that's a lot of bust.
Yeah, a lot of bust. Pause.
Jeez.
All right. Zeke and Pollard gave us no clarity on who's better. So are you guys still confident in starting both this week against the Eagles?
Unfortunately.
I think I'm more confident in Pollard. I don't know how often they'll get in within the 20, which seems to be where Zeke is doing his work, but
you easily see Zeke scoring a touchdown, unfortunately.
I do.
I feel like he always plays well against the Eagles.
Yeah, he does.
I do think both are definitely viable starts, though. I think you could start either one. They're both top 20 plays. I would still lean towards Pollard over Zeke just for the upside there.
Oh,
yes, sir.
For sure. All right. Miles Sanders, sticking with the Eagles. He had a pooper after we anointed him an RB1 last week. Are you trusting a bounce back, or are you considering benching?
I'm trusting a bounce back, especially if Jalen Hurts isn't playing. I don't know why they don't rely on Booby even more when Jalen Hurts is playing. He's averaging like over 5 yards a carry this season. So I think they're going to try and trust our offensive line, run the ball, control the clock. And that goes into the question that Top Doc just also asked. No, not Top Doc, Mustard, about if Sanders was a no-question start. I think so.
Yes.
And outside of the one time where he scored 5 points in double weeks, back-to-back weeks, every time he scored less than 5 points, he comes back the next week scoring at least 25.
He's a menace.
Actually, that may have only happened once, but
it happened twice. And it's weird that it happened twice. No, but yeah, I would agree. I would definitely think they're going to rely heavier on him.
No, actually, it did happen twice. Sorry.
Yeah.
Week 3, he scored 5. Week 4, he dropped 29. And then week 10, 11, 5 each. And then week 12, 31. So,
well,
boom's
1.9. I'm hoping he drops a 50 burger this week.
Oh, my God.
I think he'll definitely have to be used. It is not a super favorable matchup, but he's been pretty solid all season long. So you probably don't have a better option. Still think he's a no question start.
Yeah.
Even if he did say FR fantasy teams, I still think they want to use him more. Sirianni wants to use him more. Lock him in, especially if Hurts is out. He's going to have to be relied on heavily. Zonovan Knight, if you've been riding the train, it clearly fell off the rails this past week. 13 carries for 23 yards. Didn't do anything else other than that. Where did you rank him this week? Is he a viable option?
I don't think it was much of a surprise, though, because Lions have been shutting down running backs the last half of the season. I have him at 25 this week.
I'm at 27. I do still think he's going to be involved, but I don't know. It sucks seeing a stinker and then trying to trust a player the week
on
after.
the Jets.
And coming back for Thursday Night Football.
Against the Jags, though.
Yeah, it's a favorable matchup. I think, obviously, if you're in a tough spot, you're probably starting him anyways. You probably don't have a better option. But I would rock with Zonovan if I had to. But yeah, I'm a 27 as well. Definitely more of a low-end RB2 option at best.
Mm-hmm.
Top Doc says he loves Najee Harris this week. I wouldn't say you're alone, but
I don't hate it.
Definitely a top 20 play still.
Yeah, he's a mid RB2 this week.
Yeah. I just haven't seen that crazy
Najee
boom consistently this season at all. So hard for me to hop on a Najee boom week. Seen it pretty much once all season. So we'll see. Maybe it is a big Najee week. All right, let's keep rolling with cap or no cap. DeAndre Swift is the only startable running back for the Lions again, and Jamal Williams should be left on fantasy benches.
I'm saying,
if you're okay with 8 points, then Jamal Williams is still okay for you to start, but that's all he's doing basically, which again isn't bad, but
that's cap. They're playing the Panthers.
They're all right.
Who just played the Panthers? The Steelers, right? And Najee did well.
Yeah.
Are you saying that the Panthers are good or Panthers?
No,
are bad?
I'm saying the Panthers suck.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying.
And this is a game where the Lions' offense could go up on the Panthers. The Panthers all around are an abysmal team, so I think
the playoffs
could be. But I see the Lions winning this game handily, and I think that towards the end they'll be able to run the ball, and Jamal is going to be the beneficiary of that.
Yeah, I think it's a tough matchup in general. Well, not a tough matchup, but I think it's Jamal, Justin Jackson, and Swift are still pretty much just 30, 33, 33, 33 down the line. I don't think I'm fully back in on Swift. I still think he's the safest option here, but I'd rather avoid all of them if I could, to be honest. But
I forgot about fucking Justin Jackson.
Jamal, touchdown dependent at best. I think he played the fewest snaps of those 3 this week. So
he did.
He's been struggling a ton on the ground, so I'm not really trusting him. But I don't know how much I'm really trusting Swift either, unless I have to. Mustard with a good question. DJ Moore, Gabe Davis.
I don't want to hear the name DJ Moore ever.
It's DJ Moore.
It's DJ Moore.
It's DJ Moore. Sorry, Q. He had another decent game this week. I know he disappeared the game before that.
So he's going to disappear this game.
No, it is not every other week. He's had good games in back-to-back weeks in random times. It's very unpredictable, but they are playing the Lions, and they are the second worst passing defense in the league. So if there's any week to start DJ Moore, it's probably this week if you're stuck between them. Top Doc beating me to my next question for you guys. Are you plugging in Zach Moss or Deion Jackson with Jonathan Taylor out, or are you just avoiding this backfield as a whole?
I'm avoiding it.
Yeah,
honestly.
If I were to pick one, it'd most likely be Moss. He seemed to be playing a lot, but I don't like either.
Yeah, I'm avoiding.
I don't know. I'm
25
torn
carries,
between this one as well.
If you think Swift, Justin Jackson, and Jamal Williams is a headache, how are you going to try and trust one of these guys?
Look, I'm not saying I'm trusting, but if I'm in a position where I lost Jonathan Taylor and these are my only two options, I'm probably
going Zach Moss.
Zach Moss got more of the work, but Deion Jackson looked way better when he did get the opportunity. I still think he's going to be more of the passing down back. I would probably still lean towards him. They've leaned on him in the past, and he's played well. But it is tough. I think they're going to try to do it more 50-50 than what they did. So we'll see. Nick Foles also can throw it to the running back a bit. He'll change up the dynamic of this offense a bit. So we'll see. Zach Moss probably the safer bet for volume. Deion Jackson still ended up with more fantasy points with 11 less carries.
He had a touchdown.
Found the end zone. But still also had 55 yards rushing, 4.2 yards per carry over 3.3. He looked a bit more efficient. So I would lean towards Deion, but either way, it's a toss-up.
Colts started losing when they were handing the ball off to Moss, so that might just mean Moss is not getting the ball anymore.
If I ever have to trust Zach Moss again, I would prefer not to.
No one's trusted him in the semis.
I haven't trusted Zach Moss in years.
I don't think ever.
Yeah. He's been hyped
you're
up
acting like
years.
he's like a 10-year vet. He's been around like 3 years.
I know.
Never trustworthy.
Feels like he's been around forever. All right, let's keep rolling here. Next question I got. How about their teammate, Michael Pittman? We just mentioned Nick Foles. Are you still confident in Michael Pittman with the QB change?
Yeah, I think he's going to get fed. The volume's going to be there. Who are the Colts playing this week?
The Chargers.
Yeah. So the Chargers are able to score points. They have one of the best offenses in the league. They finally got everybody healthy, it looks like. So I think Nick Foles is going to be forced to throw. And who else is he going to throw to aside from Michael Pittman?
Yeah, completely agree. Pittman's going to still get fed in this game. I'm starting him.
Yep.
Missed a couple questions in the chat as well. Latavius Murray, good RB2 option. I would say yes. I don't think he's a great option, but if I'm forced to play somebody, Latavius Murray's not a bad option.
No Marlon Mack to talk about.
Yeah, of course. So Latavius Murray should be fine. The Rams defense is good, but they're not great. They're middle of the pack against running backs. So with everything they got going on, I wouldn't be shocked if Latavius has a decent day. Anyone hopping on the Juwan Johnson train? If T Gods was here, I know he would be singing the praises of Juwan Johnson. He helped him win his playoff game. But
I feel like you have to.
Dude, if we're talking about tight ends, there are so many bad ones, so many inconsistent ones. Pat Freiermuth has been reliable all season and just put up a bagel this past week. Like,
yeah,
he's maybe not getting the volume, but he's scoring touchdowns. So a tight end, that's all you want. So if he even gets one touchdown, a catch for 15 yards, you're already getting like 8 or 9 points better than most tight ends in a week. So I'm taking the chance on Juwan Johnson if I'm looking for somebody to plug in. Back to the wide receivers, cap or no cap. Zay Jones is a must-start wide receiver for Week 16 if you have him.
I'm going to say no
last time
cap.
he was hot, he disappointed.
Yeah, but this time he's been hot for a couple games in a row.
Mm-hmm. I'm hopping on the Zay Jones train. That's for sure.
That's disgusting.
Dude, I might be hopping on the Zay
have to
Jones
get a
train
ticket
as well.
He gets
I think I'm just on the Jags train right now.
Yeah, the Jags do look good. They got a lot of young pieces on offense and defense, so I think they could end up being a good team for years to come.
Zay Jones' last 5 games, 14.8 points, 27.5, 3.6, 21.7, 36.9.
Starting
7 targets in all of them.
Yes.
Starting.
And the worst one was 7 targets, and he only ended up catching 2 of them. He was still involved in that game, just obviously wasn't on the same page. struggling game for the Jaguars as a whole. The Jets, they're a little bit scary, but I'm not overly worried about it. So
the trend looks like it is if he gets at least 8 targets outside of week 7 when he had 10. If he gets 8 targets or more, he drops at least 24 points.
yeah, he's putting up
nice.
numbers.
Get him the ball.
I understand this fear of the Jets secondary, but I still think he's going to be involved. And I think Christian Kirk is going to be the guy they're going to want to take away the most. He's done more this season. He's been more intimidating. We just saw Amon-Ra get 7 for 76 against the secondary. They're going to move both of these wide receivers around a ton. So I still think Zay Jones is a solid option. Maybe not must start, but in most cases, I think you're starting Zay Jones unless you have very good wide receiver
Hollywood.
depth.
Zay Jones.
Zay Jones.
Easy.
Hollywood's been
no
struggling.
question. And now he has Trace
They are bad.
McSorley.
Yeah, I would do Zay Jones. I have Zay Jones as top 24 play this week. Another question: Watson, Tua, or Burrow? Burrow, I think.
Burrow.
I almost said Tua for a second, but I think I would lean towards Burrow.
I have Tua one spot below Burrow.
Yeah, I think both of those are valid options. But I would still lean towards Burrow. He's been solid this season, airing it out. Obviously, New England isn't favorable. If it's maybe snowing in New England this weekend for some reason, I would definitely pivot towards Tua because he's playing in Miami where it's going to be nice and warm. But that would be the only thing that would take that away from me. Q, you just mentioned Hollywood. I was just about to mention him as well coming up here. He's been struggling last 3 games. McSorley starting. Are you trusting him? And we also got a question in the chat. Are you trusting Hopkins with Trace McSorley throwing the ball?
Hell no to Hollywood. He hasn't scored more than 5 or 7 points. He hasn't scored double digits in the last 2 weeks without Murray. And Hopkins, you're starting. He's been like wide receiver 1 since he's come back. Or he's been like a top receiver since he's come back.
Yeah. I did drop him down in my ranks a little bit, though. I have him at 11 outside the top 10, only because the quarterback play isn't going to be what it was when he was a top receiver. But, I mean, it's DeAndre Hopkins. He can make any quarterback look good. He did it for years on the Texans.
Yeah. Completely agree there. I am leaning towards still having faith in Hopkins for sure, just lowering my expectations a bit. Hoping for the touchdown, of course, as always. But for Hollywood, I would avoid if I can. If I have another option, I'm avoiding Hollywood for sure. Tyler Lockett is out. Is Marquise Goodwin a viable replacement, or are you looking elsewhere for someone else that may be out there on waivers like Noah Brown or Russell Gage?
Nope. I like Marquise Goodwin. He's had good games recently, and Tyler Lockett being out, he's going to be the number 2 option on that team, and the Seahawks are going to have to throw. They're playing the Chiefs, who are one of the highest scoring teams in the league. So I like Marquise over probably anybody else on waivers this week, aside from Zay Jones if he's still out there somehow.
Somehow, some way, that would be a miracle. I would agree. I don't hate Marquise. I don't love him, but I do think he's a solid start this week, plug and play. They're going up against the Chiefs. They're going to be airing the ball out, like forced to throw a ton. So I like it. I would start him if I had to. Chris Olave got banged up. 4 of his last 5 games, he has 11.2 points or fewer. Obviously, with the injury, he may not be able to go. But if he is, are you still trusting him this week?
No.
I don't know. It depends who your options are because Olave has been so solid aside from recently. And obviously the injury hurts, but
Olave or Hollywood?
Olave, 110%.
I would still go Olave there.
Olave or Jerry Jeudy?
Olave. Fuck Jerry Jeudy.
Olave or DJ Moore?
DJ Moore.
I'm going DJ Moore.
Yeah, Olave. I think I saw something where like he's just been on a downward trend outside the top 40 wide receivers the past certain amount of weeks.
I think it's 4 of the last 5 most likely because that's
get him a quarterback.
Could even be
please
last 6.
Put Jameson.
Please.
Yeah, I mean he only has that one big catch against the Rams that really pushed him over the last 6 or 7 weeks to have like another very solid game. He's got to find the end zone again soon, hopefully. They are going to be in Cleveland, but the hamstring is a bit scary for me. Could easily flare up. So if I have another option, I'm not scared to bench him. How about them Bears? Only lost by five. Hopefully Justin Fields is the truth for Bears fans because they've had a rough go the last 20, 30, 40 years.
I hope he stinks.
At least you guys can say you lost to the best team in the league.
We could also see a vintage Kamara weekend if Olave is out. I would not be shocked
Kamara.
At all. We've seen him do it in the fantasy playoffs before. So keep an eye out for that. Christian Watson, last wide receiver we'll talk about here, finally came back down to earth. Can you ride him again this week if you won, or are you looking for another option to plug in? Where did you rank C-Watt?
I have him at 22 this week. So not many better options.
I have him at 20.
I got him at 18, maybe a little bit of bias in that ranking. But I just still think still looks like one of the top targets here. Romeo Doubs coming back obviously took away a bit of the work that he was used to seeing. He ended up getting about the same amount of targets and more catches, but they are going to Miami, who is all right against the pass. I'm not worried about it. I think Watson should be fine as a solid flex option again this week.
Speaking of Packers wide receivers, Sammy Watkins back with the Ravens.
Ew. Ew. Ravens wide receivers are so bad.
Sammy Watkins should retire.
He's not giving up.
The Ravens should find a viable breathing pass catcher.
The Ravens wide receiver group would be elite in like 2012 when Djax and Sammy Watkins.
Yeah. The good old days. All right. Let's talk about some tight ends before we get into our starts and sits of the week. Can we trust Mark Andrews or Dalton Schultz for week 16 after a string of poor / maybe mid performances for Dalton Schultz? What are you doing with these guys? They both struggled this past week.
You're starting them both.
Expect this disappointment at least from Mark. I would expect more disappointment from Mark Andrews than Dalton Schultz.
The hope for Mark Andrews is if Lamar is playing. Even like, how is this man getting 6 targets?
He's stunk with him,
and he's getting 6+ targets each of the last 5 games, and he's maxed out at 12 points. Like, him and Tyler Huntley are nowhere near on the same page. I think Lamar can help him. Lamar, obviously, he's had better games with Lamar this season. We've seen it already.
And Mark Andrews has had a few drops this year, which is unlike him.
Yeah,
he's dropping touchdowns.
Hoping he can bounce back. It seems like Dalton Schultz has a trend. Good game, bad game, good game, bad game. I could also see him eating the middle of the Eagles defense a little bit in this competitive game. So Dalton Schultz, I think he is also a viable start. I'm still starting both, but I'm tempering expectations. I moved Mark Andrews down a bit in my ranks. So not too excited for him.
If you somehow have got Dallas Goedert or one of these options, I'd start Dallas Goedert over both. Because last year when Minshew played with Goddard, week 13, he had 28.5 points.
Yes.
So they obviously have some connection there. If Minshew's the guy.
Backup quarterbacks love the tight end.
Yes, completely agree there. Don't start the backup Eagles tight end, though. They will do nothing for you. So. Only if Goddard's playing. Yeah.
Tyree Jackson.
Top Doc has the right mindset. Everyone but Kelsey sucks. Facts. I also had another question here. He needs to start 2 of these guys: Wilson, Pittman, Watson, and Deontay Johnson. I think I'm kicking Deontay Johnson out right away.
First 2.
First 2.
I think I would lean first 2 as well. I'm still a bit scared of Zach Wilson blowing up and having a terrible game, but they could see Mike White back as well. So I would lean towards the first 2 also. I do have Garrett Wilson ranked higher than Christian Watson at 15, and Pittman I also have ranked higher. So I'm rocking with Pittman. Yeah. Lock those 2 in. Andrews, the drops have been bad. Hopefully he picks it up. Got another question here from Fly Nelly Fly. Evan Ingram or Pat Freiermuth?
I'm on
Evan Ingram, baby.
I'm on it. Evan Ingram for sure.
He's on a tear right now.
Yeah, he's just getting fed as well. I mean, all right, Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars are on a tear. I'm just riding this hot offense. Still going Evan Ingram here. As much as Freiermuth has been pretty reliable throughout the season, that donut hurts a ton. I think he's better if Pickett is in. But I don't think he actually looks like Pickett might be back. So I don't hate Freiermuth. I think both options are probably two of the better options this week, but I would lean towards Ingram just for the
Evan
upside.
Ingram, tight end 4 on the year.
Unbelievable.
Menace.
That's how bad tight ends are. He just showed up
That's
the last few
insane.
weeks and said, you know what, I'm top 5. Fly Nelly Fly, another question. Minshew or Brady?
I need
might
help
go
on this question as well.
Minshew.
I think I'm
might
going
go
Minshew.
Dude, Brady just so mid.
He looks
4
so
turnovers.
bad.
He's finally
In a
looking
row.
like washed. And
If Hurts
Arizona,
is a system quarterback, Minshew's going to eat this weekend.
yeah, I think Minshew's going to be fine. They're going to have to throw. Jeff dropping knowledge on us as always, saying Ingram's been eating all season. He's been up and down. I would agree, though. He did have a streak middle of the season where he looked like, okay, he's a solid tight end 1, disappeared for a couple weeks, and then has come back on full force the last few.
He said, psych, boom.
Yeah. Ingram has looked good. I think when he gets the volume and he gets involved in this offense, he is a top tight end. Last piece here, Conklin, Dulcich, and as Freiermuth, as I just mentioned, they all imploded this past week. If you somehow won while starting them, are you playing the waivers and looking for somebody, or are you rolling these guys back out there? Where did you rank all 3 of these guys?
It goes Freiermuth, then
Dulcich, and
then Conk.
Yeah,
And
I
the
think
one
Freiermuth. Good.
I was about to say the only one that I'm probably starting again this week is Freiermuth.
I would agree there. I think you might be able to find somebody else out on waivers that might be better than Dulcich. Like, I've loved Chig Okonkwo the last few weeks. Told you to pick him up last week and start him. He didn't do great. He had 10 points. Still a solid game for tight ends most weeks.
Great for a tight end.
Yeah, exactly. So Okonkwo, someone I'm still looking at, even though Malik Willis might hurt him a bit. So that's something I'm a little bit scared of.
There's a chance.
Juwan Johnson still could be out there. There's options that I would consider starting over Dulcich. And
in some leagues, you might have a shot at getting Darren Waller, maybe. Because people definitely dropped him. He was going for like 10 weeks and sucked when he did play. So,
yeah, Waller could be back as well. I would not hate it. Oh, he is back already. But
yeah,
he's somehow floating around in your league.
Week.
I forgot he scored last week. If he's somehow floating around in your league, feel free to do it.
I hate the Raiders, though, so I don't want to talk about them.
Yeah, that's a tough one for sure. But Minshew could save you. Minshew mania. You never know.
You lost on your week off.
I'd rather take that chance over Tom Brady's bum.
So how you get fired on your day off?
All right, let's keep rolling. Today's sponsor is Underdog Fantasy, the easiest way to play fantasy football. You can get started now. I think they're doing that Saturday Throwdown again, which is Thursday and Saturday Night Football together. They're also doing contests for all of the Saturday games. Tons of money and prizes, $50,000, all up for grabs. Sign up, use our promo code SUPERFB, 100% deposit match up to $100. So if you deposit 100, you get another 100 matched free. You can deposit 10, you'll still get that 10 matched free. Again, our promo code is SUPERFB, SUPERFB. You can play Underdog Fantasy on the Underdog Fantasy app for iOS and Android, or sign up online at underdogfantasy.com. Check it out. All right, starts and sits of the week. Matt, who's your start? Who's your sit for round 2 in most leagues of the fantasy playoffs?
My start is my boy. I missed him all year, but I'm happy that he's back, and that is J.K. Dobbins. Even running out there with a fucking full-on limp and playing under 50% of the snaps the past 2 weeks, he has over 120 yards rushing in each of those games. I think he's getting closer, healthier and healthier. I don't think he's anywhere near 100%, honestly, but I see that he is being productive. The Ravens should understand that. They should give him the ball even more. And he gets to play the Falcons this week, who are allowing just over 120 rush yards per game. So the streak of 120 yards could continue again this week.
Love it.
And my sit, David Montgomery. The matchup, I hate. He's going up against the Bills, who allow the 6th least rushing yards per game. And I think the game script could not go the Bears' way at all this week. I could see the Bills going up big. Bears have to abandon the run, maybe just let Justin Fields work his magic, try and work the ball downfield. So, and Monty was already seeing like 15 or so touches a game, which isn't great, and I could see that even being fewer this week.
Yeah, especially with Herbert get back in the mix too.
That's true. I forgot Herbert was back. Thank you.
I don't know if he's playing, but if he does play, obviously that hurts his stock a ton as well.
Says he's ready to practice, whatever that means.
Yeah, I mean, he's off of IR. There's probably a chance he plays. So, all right, next one here. Q, start, sit. Who we got?
Start is going to be Trevor Lawrence. Might be a little obvious, but 24 points or more the last 3 or 4 weeks. The Cowboys, who he played last week, gives up fewer points to quarterbacks than the Jets, and he torched the Cowboys. So, good matchup. If you're someone who has Trevor Lawrence or Jalen Hurts, it sucks that you have to decide now since he plays on Thursday. But I think it's worth the risk just throwing Trevor Lawrence just in case.
I do not think Jalen Hurts is going to play Q.
There's a puncher. Nick Sirianni said his body's different. Might not be much different than mine, but it's different.
You better be the same build as Jalen Hurts, QB1.
Q can now rush for like 156 yards against the NFL defense like Jalen Hurts did.
I'll just wear 2 pairs of shoulder pads.
That tackle scared me so bad. That's like it
was bad.
That's like the key. We've seen Aaron Rodgers get tackled like that. Collarbone's done. Tony Romo. That's the worst way to get tackled as a quarterback. So hoping that he's able to go next week. Just let him heal for a week.
Yeah, let him rest.
But yeah, Trevor Lawrence, solid start this week. My sit is going to be Marquise Hollywood Brown. Most obvious reason is because his quarterback is
Trace McSorley.
I was waiting for you to do that. Trace McSorley wasn't much better or any better with Colt McCoy. Only Kyler Murray seems to be his answer. He has seen 8 targets in the last 2 games, but I think his best bet would be Colt McCoy coming back. I think he has a concussion or in the protocol at the moment, which doesn't look like last time I checked he's going to play. So Trace McSorley, who stunk, has scored double digits the last couple weeks. Please stay away.
Yep, I would agree with both of those as well, Q. I will do my start and sit. Top dog tack also thrown in. Brian Robinson sit. Don't hate it at all. That Niners defense is terrifying. Loudest crunch ever. My start is Marquise Goodwin versus the Chiefs. Talked about him a bit earlier. I think the Seahawks will be fighting for their playoff lives. They're going to need everything they can in this game against the Chiefs to try and win. Lockett obviously going to miss this game, and the Chiefs are bottom 5 against opposing wide receivers. Goodwin is a decent plug-and-play option. He could easily get over the top, catch a long one in this game. If not, he's also going to be more involved because Lockett's out. So if you're looking for someone to plug and play, especially if you lost Lockett, I think he's worth a shot. My sit this week is Tyler Algier and Cordell Patterson, basically the entire Falcons running back core. You may be tempted to plug and play these two. Algier played extremely well this past week. Patterson found the end zone. You might be thinking, hey, maybe I can start him. I would say don't. The Ravens are 6th against running backs this season, have been shutting down guys in the run game, including Nick Chubb this past week. I think the past few weeks, running backs are averaging like 2.5 yards per carry against this defense. It's been atrocious trying to move the ball against the Ravens defense in general. I would avoid both of these guys if possible in a tough matchup. Ritter has his hands full this week.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's do this. Game picks. Got a lot of games this week, as always. Starting with Thursday night football, as we've talked about a couple times, Jaguars at the Jets. Who are you guys picking?
Jags.
I'm taking the Jags. I'm all in.
Yeah. I completely agree there. I'm taking the Jags.
It's crazy that, like, if you looked at this game week 1, you'd be like, this game's going to stink. But
it's a good game.
Has a lot of importance for both teams. I think the Jets are still in it.
I do too. Definitely. The Jets, this is a huge game for them. I think they would prefer to start Mike White, but I'm picking the Jags. They're super hot. Trevor Lawrence looks out of his mind the last few weeks, so rocking with him. Top Doc disagrees. Jets stop the hot Jags. We shall see. Christmas Eve games, just as a reminder, most of the games are going to be Christmas Eve this week. If you're looking to watch Red Zone, it's going to be on Saturday, Christmas Eve. Check out our boy Scott Hansen, as always. Starting with the Falcons at the Ravens. Who we got?
Ravens.
I'm still taking the Ravens. Even if Tyler
The
Huntley's playing,
Ravens.
I still think they somehow pull this one out. The Falcons are just as bad, if not worse. So give me the Ravens there. Bills at the Bears. Who we got?
The Bills.
Bills.
Come on. Bills. Sorry, Mustard. We love the Bears, but it's a tough one. Yeah, Bills by 100 for sure. Bengals at the Patriots.
Bengals.
I feel like this could be a sneaky Patriots game, but I'm going Bengals.
Probably.
Could.
I'm going Bengals, even in Foxborough. Lions at the Panthers.
Lions.
They're going to the playoffs.
Remember I said Steve Wilkes, coach of the year last week? Yeah, bad take. Lions, for sure. Texans at the Titans. Who we got?
Titans.
And I mean, the
Texans don't have Damian Pierce. They have
I know, but it doesn't
nobody
matter.
on
They've
offense.
been playing. They've been in games, but once again, Derrick Henry is the father of the Houston Texans, so they'll rush for 4,000 yards. And
Derrick Henry's dropping an 800 bomb on this team. He's going off this week. If you're playing
especially if
Derrick
Tannehill's
Henry in
out.
fantasy, I'm praying for you this week. It's going to be a tough one. You're going to need some guys to step up. It's going to be the Malik Willis, Derrick Henry show. They're going to run all over this team. Give me the Titans.
Yeah, bad.
Saints at the Browns. Who we got there?
The Browns.
This one's sneaky too.
I'm taking the Saints.
D-Watt bounce back game, please.
I'm not trusting a D-Watt bounce back game. Hoping for more of a Chubb bounce back game. I'm going Browns as well, though.
Boo. At least Top Doc's on my side.
Yeah, Top Doc's got you there. Giants at the Vikings.
Vikings are spanking that ass.
The Vikings, man,
Stop.
they're wilding, but I'm taking the Vikings. They are just so unpredictable, dude.
Kirk is elite.
Oh my god.
Kyler would never come back from a 30.
Never. He would just.
All right,
be
nobody.
like, I'm
would.
ready
It's
to
the
go.
worst coaching display in history. Jeff Saturday is a joke. None of their they have experienced coaches on their staff, and they gave Jeff Saturday the job. It's laughable. Horrible organization.
Kirk Cousins basically threw for 400 yards in one half.
He
Right.
did,
He had-
bro. He had 1 point and going into halftime. He finished with 50 in
They
CBS.
lost that game. Absolutely outrageous.
Oh my god, I was loving it.
But yeah, Vikings. I'm taking the Vikings as well. Giants looked better this past week, but I still don't trust them. Seahawks at the Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Yeah, too easy.
Chiefs Kingdom.
Love the Seahawks. Want to see them put up a fight, but I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, unfortunately. The Lions are hot. Commanders at the Niners. Who we got?
Niners. They're
It's
stopping
gonna be a
anything.
sneaky.
the
I think
Commanders
this is a
throw at 'em.
sneaky game.
I
Sneaky
think
game.
the Commanders win.
I'll take the Niners.
Oh,
I'm taking
this,
the Niners.
this could be sneaky too, but I'm taking the Niners. Brock Purdy looks pretty solid. This offense still has so many weapons. Defense is still monstrous. I'm going the Niners easy. Top Niners by 65.
Niners by 49.
Good one. All right, Eagles at the Cowboys.
I'm taking the Birds. I don't give a shit.
Go Birds.
Bias intended. I'm taking the Birds, even if Hurts isn't playing. Minshew
It
mania,
doesn't
baby.
matter.
I will never pick against the Birds ever this
Cowboys
season.
could win. Top Doc, we appreciate your non-biased opinion. I don't even know who you're a fan of, but appreciate you adding in.
You guys
the
called me
Cowboys take.
crazy for my regular season fucking record prediction.
I called all of you crazy. You guys had some wild picks. We'll definitely look back at that too at some point in the next couple of weeks. All right. Saturday night football, Raiders at the Steelers. I think it's the anniversary of the Immaculate Reception. Should be a fun one. Who we got?
Raiders. Even though I fucking hate the Raiders.
Oh, I hate the Raiders so fucking
I hate the
much.
Raiders.
I'm moving Steelers because fuck the Raiders.
Top
Derek
Doc's
Carr's the worst
Saints
quarterback
fan,
in the league.
God.
but I do understand the Cowboys there. Yeah, I'm going the Steelers. Raiders stink, by the way. Bad.
Very bad.
They should not have beat the Patriots in that fashion. That game was hilarious. All right, Christmas Day football, Packers at the Dolphins to start off your Christmas at 1 o'clock. Who are we taking to win that game?
Fins up.
Dolphins.
Yeah, Fins up for me as well. I think they bounce back for sure.
Jalen Waddle, 2 touchdowns. Book it.
Ooh, That's spicy.
Sean could have used that.
I wish, man. I wish. My team played well this week. I didn't have a quarterback, but if I was in the playoffs, it would have looked good. Broncos at the Rams, 4:30 matinee. You might want to skip this one on Christmas. Enjoy your Christmas dinner and come back.
That's god awful.
Come back for Sunday Night Football. But yeah, Broncos at the Rams. Who we got in this one?
Broncos.
I am taking the Rams.
Ooh.
Brett Rippin.
Baker. Oh, Brett
Rippin better than Baker.
Both trash.
God awful.
I kind of agree with this as well.
Tie. 0-0.
It could be 3-3. All right, Christmas night. We got 2 games. Bucks at the Cardinals. The first one. Who we got?
Bucks. If Kyler was playing, or even Colt McCoy, I might have went Cardinals, but
Trace McSorley.
I don't see him beating Brady.
RQ. I like that. Like the hat.
I should have put the Grinch costume on for this.
You should have. I'm going Bucks. Easy. Come on. I've taken the Cardinals way too many times this year. They've lost every single time I've taken them, probably. Give me the Bucks. Chargers at the Colts to wrap it up.
Chargers.
Give me the Chargers as well. Colts' biggest collapse in football history. I don't think they bounce back from that. All right. Q, do we have some fantasy trivia today?
We've got trivia. One fantasy. One. Yeah, we've got trivia
Christmas
today.
trivia.
We got a couple Christmas trivia.
I remember Q's Christmas trivia last year. It was like all the names for Santa Claus.
All right, what do we got?
All
Chat,
right, so
feel
this
free to
first
play
question
along.
is actually a football question.
I am turning off chat, so I'm not cheating, just so everyone knows.
I'm going to the private chat.
Yes, sir.
All right. So the first question. So the Falcons, they turned Desmond Ridder last week at quarterback. He played his college football at Cincinnati since the merger in 1970. Who's the only other player? Listen to the question. Who's the only other player, current player, from that school, Cincinnati, who has thrown a touchdown pass in an NFL game? I will give you a list of like 4 big names from Cincinnati who currently play in the NFL.
I think I know who it is.
You tell me, Sean. You may, because they're Temple opponent, but you tell me who the NFL player
Cheating.
is. So the NFL players, that list I'll give you: Jason Kelce, Sauce Gardner, Alec Pierce, Travis Kelce, or Kobe Bryant, who is the Seahawks cornerback.
You said Kobe Bryant. I was like, excuse me?
Travis Kelce, Jason Kelce, Alec Pierce, or Kobe Bryant.
Why do I have a weird feeling?
And Sauce Gardner.
I got a weird feeling about this one that I'm wrong. So wrong.
I think I got it. Because I'm pretty sure this bull.
I feel like he had to have at one point. But I don't know. I locked it in.
I locked it in.
It was Travis Kelce.
Let's go.
To prove my... Oh my God, my
Sean,
ring weight is so
there you
bright.
go.
Would you have gotten that, Sean, if I didn't give the list?
Yes, I would have written Travis Kelce because I knew he went to Cincinnati, but I don't know if Matt would have known that.
No. Hell no.
Top Doc got it as well.
I didn't know that Sauce Gardner went to Cincinnati. That seems like a very small school for someone like him.
Well, they were elite, and he was a major part of why they were elite and went to the
Ahmad is his first name.
college football playoff.
I always sent my fucking player in Road to Glory on NCAA football to Cincinnati.
Yo, the Bearcats are good, man.
Because
They're
they
in the Big
sucked,
12 now.
And I was always a running back, and I would be a starter immediately.
That's hilarious. All right.
All right.
You?
Christmas question here. I lost the good one, so I'm going off of this website. What is Frosty's nose made out of? And I'm giving you 15 seconds for this. Frosty the Snowman.
Trick question.
I sung the song in my head.
Me too.
A button.
Yes.
Yeah.
Corn
And
cob
2 eyes
pipe
made out
and a
of
button
gold.
nose, baby.
All right,
Not a
one
carrot
more-
nose like other snowmen.
I almost
more
wrote parrot. Like
Christmas
Sorry,
trivia
Top Doc.
question. Come on,
Said I'm
Top
fried.
Doc.
That's a
You
tough
were
one.
One more trivia.
Best excuse
Christmas.
of all time.
So in Home Alone 2,
Okay.
where did Kevin establish his living cell? Where was Kevin most of the movie, all the movie in Home Alone 2? His parents left him at the airport. He went and stayed. And
is it a city or a state that you're looking for?
you can give me a city or state.
I have absolutely no idea.
I'm going with
to attack the Wet Bandits, I think they called themselves.
I have no idea, bro. All right, I just wrote something.
Have you never seen Home Alone?
I've seen Home Alone. Home Alone 2. I've seen maybe like once or twice.
Please watch.
I've seen it, but I haven't seen it often.
Can you give me? Where was he in 1? Oh yeah, he was just home in 1. Sorry. So Home Alone 2, he was in New York City.
Got it anyways.
Wasn't he in New York both times?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know where he lives. No, in Home Alone 1,
he was.
No way. Because how was
I swear to God, Kevin McAllister lives in New York.
He was in the airport in Home Alone 2 and went to New York because that's where his uncle lived because he stole his dad's like phone book thing. I don't know where he may be living in like Chicago or something. Yes, he lives in Chicago because that's where his mom was trying to get back to in Home Alone 1. Chicago 1, New York 2.
I guess they were traveling to New York in 1.
Oh, yeah.
They were traveling to Paris in 2.
Never mind. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Well, whatever. You both got it right.
Get it. Got it. Good. I got it right.
Skin of my teeth.
Dang. All right. Is that it?
It is it.
All right.
3
that
for 3,
is
baby.
a wrap for the Week 16 Round 2 of the Fantasy Playoffs preview. Appreciate all of the guys sliding. Can always we'll always tell Gator that for you, but
I wonder who Gator is. I mean, who Top Doc is. Because it seems like he knows T-Gods and Gator.
All right. Let's keep that's a wrap. Why are we keeping anything? Week 16 preview. We're done. We'll be back next week with our championship preview on Wednesday for Week 17. We'll be sticking to once a week with the previews for the fantasy playoffs, and you can still hit us up on all social medias for questions. If you do have any questions, like on a Monday for waivers or something, we're there. Also, announcement, fantasy award show, not this upcoming Wednesday because that is the championship preview, but the following Wednesday for Week 18, we'll be doing our fantasy award show. Stay tuned for that. Favorite episode every single year. You don't want to miss it. If you have not already, make sure you use our promo code SUPERFB. If you're considering using Underdog Fantasy, of course, get that deposit money. We also have a partnership with Fanatics. So if you're looking for a jersey of your favorite player, favorite team, whatever, use the link in our bio. Helps us out a ton. They always have sales going on. And of course, we are partnered with the Olde City Sports Network. Check that link out in our bio on all platforms. There are a ton of good podcasts, Flyers podcast, hockey podcast, everything over there. Check it out. And make sure you're following us here on Twitch if you're watching, or if you're on YouTube, throw us a sub. We're on Spotify, Apple, Anchor, wherever you get your podcast for the audio version. See you guys on Wednesday. Peace.